Good evening. My name is Melinda Russell, and I'm here to talk to you about listening and speaking are the foundation of literacy. When we think about teaching children to read and write, we often think about letters, sounds, books, and writing their names. But long before a child reads their first word or writes their first sentence, they are developing the skills that make literacy possible. Those skills begin with listening and speaking. Language development starts at birth. Babies communicate through crying, eye contact, facial expressions, gestures, and sounds. As adults respond to those attempts to communicate, babies begin learning that communication is a back and forth process. As children move through the toddler years, they begin understanding more words, following simple directions, using gestures and words to communicate their wants and needs, and eventually combining words into sentences. During the preschool years, those skills become much more complex. Children expand their vocabulary, ask and answer questions, tell stories, explain their thinking, and participate in longer conversations with adults and other children. The California Preschool Transitional Kindergarten Learning Foundations recognizes listening and speaking as an important part of foundational language. Preschool children progress from participating in short back and forth conversations to staying on topic and participating across several conversational turns. Once children enter kindergarten, these skills continue to grow. Kindergarten students are expected to participate in conversations with peers and adults, listen to others, take turns speaking, and continue conversations through multiple exchanges. As children progress through first, second, and third grade, the expectations increase. By third grade, students are expected to participate in collaborative discussions, build on another person's ideas, ask questions to clarify their understanding, stay on topic, and clearly explain their own thinking. This is why language delays can have such a significant impact on learning. A child with a language delay may have difficulty understanding directions, processing questions, finding the words to express an idea, or participating in conversations. Sometimes we see the result as behavior. A child who does not understand what is being asked may walk away, become frustrated, copy another child, or refuse to participate. Before assuming that a child is being non-compliant, we need to consider whether the child truly understands the language being used. Listening and speaking also have a direct connection to reading and writing. Children first hear language before they read it, and they usually say words before they write them. Through conversations, songs, rhymes, books, and play, children learn vocabulary, sentence structure, sounds and words, sequencing, and storytelling. Phonological awareness is especially important. When children hear rhymes, clap syllables, recognize beginning sounds, and play with sounds and words, they are developing skills that will later help them decode words when reading and encode words when writing. Oral language also supports reading comprehension. It is difficult for a child to understand a word in print if that word is not already part of the vocabulary or understanding. So what can teachers do? One of the easiest things we can do is talk with children throughout the day. I use a lot of narration and active noticing. Instead of simply telling a child what to do, I might say, "I see you're trying to get that block to stay up. You move the bigger block underneath it." That gives language to the child's actions and introduces vocabulary naturally. I also use open-ended questions, such as, "What do you think will happen? Tell me about what you made." Then we have to give children enough wait time to answer instead of answering for them. I know sometimes as teachers we ask a question and we want the answer immediately, but it takes these little guys time to process things, so we need to give them time to answer. Visual supports are another important strategy. Visual schedules, first then boards, picture choice boards, and pictures showing steps can support both understanding and communication. This is especially helpful for children who are less verbal. Multilingual learners or children with communication disabilities. Active listening does not mean that we only listen for spoken words. We also listen to gestures, facial expressions, play actions, signs, pictures, and other ways children communicate. Collaborative learning also gives children authentic reasons to listen and speak. When children build together in the block area, engage in dramatic play, complete a project, or solve a problem together, they have to communicate. They negotiate roles, explain ideas, listen to someone else's perspective, ask questions, and solve disagreements. These interactions provide language practice that cannot be replicated by having children sit quietly and answer one question at a time. Finally, we also need to consider children with dyslexia. Dyslexia is primarily associated with difficulty learning to read and spell, particularly with recognizing and manipulating the sounds within words. Because phonological processing is connected to both spoken and written language, some children with dyslexia may also have difficulty with aspects of oral language, especially phonological awareness, word retrieval, vocabulary, or following complex verbal information. Teachers can support students by explicitly teaching sound awareness, using visual supports along with spoken information, breaking directions into smaller steps, repeating and rephrasing information when needed, pre-teaching vocabulary, and giving students additional processing time. Multisensory experiences that allow children to learn, hear, see, say, and manipulate sounds and words can also provide additional support. The most important thing I want teachers to remember is that literacy does not begin when we hand a child a worksheet or ask them to write a letter. Literacy begins through conversation, problem solving. We are building the foundation for reading and writing. Every interaction can become a language learning opportunity, and every child deserves to know that what they have to communicate is worth listening to.